If I was just gonna like attach an idea to it, it's gonna be dangerous freedom.
And of course, I knew the guy was a special forces soldier. I knew he was one of the top UFC fighters, and you know, all the rest of it. But I just was so busy, really didn't follow it. But getting to know him and all the anti-terrorism background, and the rest of it, obviously with all this new stuff that's been happening, it was like perfect timing. I mean, unfortunately for the country, but fortunately for us here on the show to have your basic, bird's eye view and also on the ground view of what's unfolding. If stations just joined us, as some stations only carry the second and third hour, the head of Homeland Security has come out, Obama has come out, and they said they want a no-buy list for gun owners. Extrajudicial, extra legislative, 2 million Americans on the no-fly list, most of them totally innocent. Suddenly you can't buy a gun because the administration puts you on a list. This is the end of judicial review. It's the end of due process. It's unspeakable. Now, remember, this was their goal in 2008 during the campaign. Rahm Emanuel, who became the White House Chief of Staff, gave speeches saying, if you are on a list of maybe being a possible terrorist, you don't have a right to own guns. So they want to just put you on a magic list and use Homeland Security to take your guns. Now, Obama went on. We're going to play this clip again in a moment. And said, there's going to be bigger attacks, and you better just let us restrict your guns. And he said, because we've got to stop American terrorists. So you can't say Islamic. The FBI says they're not allowed to even say that. We're told this isn't Islamic. We're told to stand down. The mosque is protected. The imam can say, kill the gays. We're going to play these clips. Other imams can. His dad can say it. But it's not Islamic. No, it's American gun owners. We have the clip. I played it last hour where Obama openly says it. You cannot make this up. So, Tim Kennedy, I know you're chomping at the bit to talk about this. We played a clip that you shot on June 1st of these vignettes we were going to dole out over the next month. But we went ahead and played it yesterday, a few weeks early, really, because you said, look, political correctness will get you killed. We're about to have jihad attacks in this country. You need to get prepared. You need to get ready. Wow. I tell you, I mean, where should we start first?
You don't want to be right about these things. You don't. I was heartbroken. I was disappointed. I was depressed. It was saddened. It broke my heart to see that I was right. I didn't want Americans to die. I don't want anybody to die. And now that Americans have died, regardless of what their sexual orientation, what their religion is, those are Americans that were murdered in a nightclub by radical Islam. So radical Islam murdered 49 people.
Let's just say it. He didn't want us to say radical Islam. Islam.
Radicalized by an imam, so essentially a pastor in a church said, hey, you guys be crazy and go kill people we don't like. But we now, the Americans, are going to have to face the consequences of a very small group of fanatics. They're not going to try to take their guns. They're not. It has been very obvious for the past 7 years that they don't go after them. They leave them alone. They say, don't go after the imams. Don't even say Islam. Don't even say Muslim. Don't say radical extremists. Just look for any excuse to try to take guns. Now, the people's guns that they're going to take are not going to be theirs. Their criminals are always going to get guns.
This guy had a Homeland Security clearance, and his brother-in-law ships the jihadis in.
So, if you want to, let's just say we're going to make drugs illegal, then we wouldn't have any drugs, right? Wait, no, that doesn't work. Obviously, we still can get anything that you want on the street. You can get cocaine, you can get heroin, you can get marijuana at any 7-Eleven. So outlawing it at this point, when we have the millions and tons, hundreds of millions of guns that we have here, is not going to change anything. So
sure, we know they're coming after the American people, though.
Yeah, they're going to come after us. They're not going to go after the Muslim extremists. They're going to leave them alone, and they're going to try to take our guns. My guns, Alex's guns, Shane's guns. Every true patriot's guns.
And now it's pretty clear. We talked about this when you were in here Sunday. We talked about it last week. What is the master motive? We've seen it in Europe. Now it's here. Bring them in. Let them attack. protect him, order the FBI to stand down, and then now Milo, the top guy on Twitter, the police banned his speech today in Florida because of threats, and now he's been kicked off Twitter because he's pointing out that Islam says it's going to kill all the gays. He has his speech taken now for these people. My God, what? I mean, 20% of Hillary's campaign money is from Saudi Arabia. That's the folks that fund ISIS.
There's no question. You can't. So if you look at all the places around the world where being gay is illegal, it's Muslim countries. It's not the West. It's not Europe. It's Muslim countries where.
But the left won't let you say that.
No, but that's the truth. That's the thing about the truth is you can't hide it. Just Google it right now. Go and say, what countries is it illegal to be gay? Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan. Those are the countries. Those are the countries that they push them off of roofs. I'm saying this is America. You do whatever you want. That's the point of being free. We're about to lose those freedoms. Oh, there we go. Look. Which countries?
77 countries, and the ones where they execute you, the 11 are Muslim. But expanding on that, instead the left wants to indoctrinate our kids when we're saying, no, we're the parents. You have freedom, but I have freedom for you not to indoctrinate me or my kids. That's why they're mad at us, because a lot of these leftist groups want to take over politically. And that's why they're allied with Islam, because it's totalitarian.
Yeah. The only way that we can fight this is we start getting strong individually. Like, we cannot be weak. We cannot be a weak.
And we have to unbrainwash our kids and be aware and not just give into this culture, fight against it, which will actually make us stronger.
Yeah, right now, we are being sheep led to the slaughter. The media comes on and tells us whatever we want, and we're like, oh, okay, I guess guns are bad because, look, it just killed a bunch of gay people in Orlando. No, radical Islam did that. The gun had nothing to do with it. And
from your sources, I mean, in and around anti-terrorism, 3-hour stand down of the SWAT team, how did that happen?
So it wasn't a stand down. What happened was these are regular police officers. They worked their shifts, and now they're at home, right? They're at home. They're asleep. They're with their kids. They have their pagers. They have their cell phones. When a shooting started happening at a club, they didn't know what it was right away. So it took a while, almost an hour, for it to be an active shooter at a nightclub. So now it's activating SWAT. We're an hour into it. Now
sure, should we just have the regular officers be ordered to storm facilities like that? If you want to be a cop, I mean, the old days, they just storm stuff.
So absolutely. Right now, I train people active shooter response. It takes one gun to change the chemistry of a gunfight. One person with a gun. So if there's a guy walking around just executing people.
You're going to pin him down.
It changes everything about the gunfight.
Well, let's say you were down the street and heard the shots or heard this was happening, or you were on duty. I know all your family are cops, and you're driving along, you hear shots fired. What does Tim Kennedy do?
You run towards gunfire. First time I was in Iraq, I'm on a Black Hawk, and we're flying in, brown out. The dust is getting kicked up. And all I see is these flashes from the top of a roof. It was muzzle fire, and rounds were coming at us. And I'm an E5, brand new to Special Forces. And I start running towards the flashes because I knew that was gunfire. I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. I looked to my left and right. All 12 of my brothers are to my left and right, and everybody's doing the same thing. We're running towards gunfire because that's what you do. That's how you save lives. The longer you let them shoot you, the more of your dudes are going to die. The faster you get rounds on them, the quicker you save lives.
And, I mean, the tower shooting, that's what everybody did. I mean, the citizens started firing on the guys. How do we go from that culture to this?
Being in villages in Afghanistan and Pakistan where you see the Taliban walk in and just start effortlessly executing people. When one person in the village shoots back, they are cowards. They're not like cowards. They are gutless, impotent pussies. And these guys, it takes one person to start shooting back, and they start running. One person, not even accurate fire. But if you put a trained person at that nightclub that says, no, not tonight, I'm not going to let my...
Well, imagine what would have happened in Texas. I mean, this person...
You don't have to imagine.
Gay nightclub or not, this guy's dead in about a minute.
No, we don't have to imagine because it's already happened. Garland, Texas, last year, we had 2 radicalized Islam guys drive into town. And
they were going to go into a community center and kill everybody. It didn't happen.
It was a plan. They already said there was a plan. They had been activated, and they were going to go in. They had the guns to do it. They drive into the parking lot, and they're going to go kill a bunch of Texans. They didn't make it out of their car. They were killed in their car. They fell out like Swiss cheese.
Instead, imagine if that had been somewhere where it was a bunch of liberals. My God, they could have killed hundreds.
So there were 2 shooters in San Bernardino. and there were no people with guns. That's the difference.
You know, this Muslim that killed his friends that were French, he knew them and went to their house to kill them. It seems like they like to kill people they know. It's at San Bernardino. These were their coworkers, people they had like Christmas parties with.
There's no connection. If you're not of shared faith, if you're not Muslim, if you don't pray with them, you're nothing to them. There is no connection. They will kill you. They will kill your kids. They'll behead you. They'll throw you off roofs. They'll do anything that they can to end you because you are against what they stand for. That's Islam. Doesn't matter who you are or how you know them. They will kill you.
You heard us report from our sources on the 6 cities that are targets. Talking to your sources, was that accurate?
Yeah, so we know that there had been other guys that were radicalized. And so Omar Martin was one in 2014. The guy that went to Syria and blew himself up was another. There's a handful of other guys, and we don't know where they are. They are being actively pursued, whether it's going to be New Orleans, where the gay parade is going to be happening this weekend. You watch yourselves. You be sheepdogs and have your heads on swivels. San Francisco, New York, Boston, you know, major metropolitan cities with culture. They hate it. They want it to be wiped off the face of the planet.
And then the weirdo leftists want to control all culture, and they're allied with it. This is mental illness. I mean, this is crazy town.
It's lethal. It's to a point. It's beyond crazy where they're actually seemingly enabling these people to kill us. It's past crazy. It's intentional.
Let's talk about the latest developments and how they want to extrajudicially get rid of your Second Amendment, and Obama or anybody just put you on a secret list and your guns are taken while they coddle the terrorists. I cannot find words, Tim, to describe how over the top it is. In the next segment, we're going to play some of this, where they're banning people giving speeches like Milo Yiannopoulos, the police are, in Florida, and kicking him off Twitter because he simply is going to point out that Islam is attacking gays, and he has 30 million followers or whatever on Twitter. And then meanwhile, we're going to play this clip in the next segment. Islamic speaker admits killing gays is a belief held by moderate Muslims. Where do you expect all this to go? Will the narrative Obama's selling of blaming the Second Amendment, will that work?
Yeah, well, it'll work for him. So right now, the only time the Constitution applies is when it's convenient for them. So, you know, First Amendment, like that, freedom of speech, that's cool. Unless it's when you're saying things that we or the media doesn't like. Then we're just going to outlaw you. We're going to block you. We're going to reject your social media presence. We're going to delete your accounts. We're going to suspend you. Or we'll even fine you and charge you with crimes. That's what they're doing. It's going to be the exact same thing with the Second Amendment. Yeah, it's great for them to have guns, for Hillary to be surrounded with people with guns so she's safe, just like Obama is surrounded by guns, just like Biden's surrounded by guns. But we're not allowed to have them because it's not convenient for them. And it's going to be the same way with every single one of our beautiful amendments until we have no rights and they have all of them. That's coming.
Look at this. This is out of CNS News. UN Human Rights Chief, that's the United Nations, says U.S. needs robust gun regulation, close quote. And the head of Homeland Security agrees. He says, we're going to get those guns. And Obama said, quote, American terrorism is why we need more gun laws, when this guy followed all the laws.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be successful?
I don't care. Can you give me one example of when the UN has done something that made sense? That has done something that was in the interest of the United States? One.
What is the military, the active duty folks you talk to, what is their view right now of how bizarre this is getting? Because quite frankly, I've been on there 21 years, Tim, and I'm really having trouble dealing with this because this has just gotten so Alice in Wonderland.
It's frustration. You know, the things that I'm saying is being, you know, that's a representation, embodiment, I think, of a culture, a group of Americans, of patriots that raised their right hand and swore to protect the Constitution against foreign and domestic enemies. And right now we have those enemies both domestically and foreign. Like we are at war right now for our freedoms, both here and abroad.
It's paradoxical because they're undermining the military and the culture, but at the same time, it's the military that's helping them project their power and control, like trying to put women in frontline special forces positions, but lowering the standards and admitting they're lowering the standards.
I said it, we released that video yesterday about political correctness. It goes deeper than that. It's not just the words. The words are one thing where we shouldn't say things like radical Islam. We shouldn't say things like Muslims are killing gays, because they are. It is to a point where we're saying we don't even need to have unique specialized units. We're going to water them down and dilute them. So we have the solution, because dilution's a solution apparently, of political correctness, of gender equality. So gender equality it's a hot word. It's the thing to do, it's the thing to say, and it's the thing to support. While I believe that women should have access to every unit there is, it has to be done correctly. And the wrong way is to drop and lower our standards. But
you can't go have a baby. This idea that, maybe 1 out of 1,000 guys could be in the more elite Army units or Navy units. And then meanwhile, I mean, it's like saying I'm going to be a long-distance runner and beat a bunch of Kenyans. It just isn't reality-based. I can't go have a baby. I don't have a uterus. So it's okay that not everybody's Tim Kennedy, and we can't expect to force the military to put women in those positions. It's insane.
Yeah, the clearest demonstration I'd ever seen, I didn't even understand it or realize it at the time. I was watching the CrossFit Games, and they had this event where you had to climb a pegboard. So they had this piece of wood up the wall, and you have these pegs in your hand. You have to climb up this wall. And when you get to the top, it's not an easy thing to do. We had it in our wrestling room, both in high school and college, and we had to do it every single day. So it's something that wrestlers are really used to, gymnasts, guys are really used to. And then as soon as you get off the wall, you get on the rower, and you had to row 1,000 meters. They had 10 male athletes. All 10 male athletes got up the pegboard, got down to the bottom, and then rowed their 1,000 within the designated time. They had 10 women that tried it. One woman actually made it to the rower, and she didn't even complete the row in time. And these are the most elite athletes on the planet, and they couldn't even do.
Sure, I mean, it's crazy. It's like putting me in the ring with Mike Tyson at his prime. Here's that clip.
Death is the sentence. I mean, look, there's nothing to be embarrassed about this. That death is the sentence. We have to have that compassion for people.
But he can go around.
With homosexuality, the same.
Apparently, that's fine for him to say. That's his right under the First Amendment.
Every time we have a conference, every time we invite a speaker, they always can come with the same accusations.
Here's another one.
This speaker supports death penalty for homosexuals. This speaker supports death penalty for this crime or that. He is homophobic. They subjugate women, etc., etc., etc. It's the same old stuff coming all the time. And we always try to tell them, I always try to tell them that, look, it's not that speaker that we're inviting who has these extreme radical views, as you say. These are general views that every Muslim actually has. Every Muslim believes in these things. Just because they're not telling you about it, or just because they're not out there in the media, doesn't mean they don't believe in them. So I will ask you, everyone in the room, how many of you are normal Muslims? You're not extremists, you're not radical, just normal Sunni Muslims. Please raise your hands. Everybody, mashallah. Subhanallah. Okay, take down your hands again.
Scary.
How many of you agree that men and women should sit separate? Please raise your hands.
Sisters in particular.
Everyone agree. Everyone agrees.
Our government's bringing these people in while putting tranny bathrooms over.
It's not just these radical sheikhs then.
Talk about explosive.
Not going to the bathroom together.
How many of you
can't even sit together?
That the punishments described in the Quran and the Sunnah, whether it is death, whether it is stoning for adultery,
look at what whack jobs these people are.
If it is
they just look like a bunch of soft idiots.
The references of the scripture that he just said are specifically about homosexuals and women that have sex out of marriage.
And that is what he should.
That's what he just said. Stone them.
Who agrees with that?
And then Obama's running around blaming the Second Amendment. When he's
are you all
these
radical extremists? Subhanallah. So all of you are saying that you are common Muslims, you all go to the different masajids, Norway, or is it Are you like a specific sect, like the Islam net sect or anything like that? Are you like that? No. Are you like that? Please raise your hand if you're like this extreme Islam net sect or anything like that. No one. Allahu Akbar. How many of you just go to these normal masajids in Norway?
Look, I can't see anymore. I've seen this before. Just that's good. This is what their mainline speakers are pushing, and he's organizing basically brigades of people saying, I'm ready to kill. I'm ready to kill women who aren't married, who have a boyfriend. I'm ready to kill anyone that is homosexual. I'm ready to kill. And then they let them do this, but Milo, who's a conservative gay activist and a Breitbart technology editor with, 30 million Twitter followers, whatever, he's been suspended, disappeared. And the police have said he can't have his speech today. I mean, wow. And then Obama is up here lecturing us not to criticize Islam. I mean, this is crazy, Tim Kennedy.
It's not crazy. This is planned. This is orchestrated. What we saw there was moderate Muslims saying that they want to kill gays, that if you have sex outside of marriage, that you have to be stoned to death, and to have those beliefs is normal. That is not radical. That is not extreme. That is at the core of who and what they are.
No, I agree. But I say it's crazy for us to put up with it. Somebody asked you the question, what is the larger plan? What is the calculus in the best thinking in anti-terrorism circles of why Homeland Security is doing this?
To take our freedoms. You can't just say, hey, take those guys' guns. What you can say is, oh my goodness, a whole bunch of Americans were just murdered and they used this gun, so let's outlaw that gun. And then let's try to find some people, some groups, some sects that we don't agree with, and let's take their guns. Because that's the radical, that's the logical, that's the rational thing to do. And so then slowly, our freedoms are eroded, bit by bit. You know, it's not going to be an overnight thing, because we'll feel it, and we'll notice it, and we'll fight that. It's going to be small, incremental freedoms taken time and time and time again. And then you're not going to know, you're not going to realize how far down that path of complete control they have until you look back and see how many small steps you've taken. Lots of little steps, a lot of little steps away from freedom. And then you look back and there's no way for us to get back there because too much has been lost. Too much ground has been lost.
Dead on. And meanwhile, Academy Sporting Goods, where I've bought firearms, is banning, I guess, what the AR-15, the M4, the 223. I mean, what is going on here?
That was an American, or that was an American company, Texas-based, Texas-founded, and now they are having to give in to the whims of culture, the pressure, because they're scared of the repercussions.
And they're creating an ammo database. I'm sorry, it's even worse. They're now tracking gun owners after we're already tracked like we're criminals.
Yeah.
Bye-bye Academy. I'm never walking in there again.
Yeah.
Tim, we really should boycott them.
Scary.
I mean, how do we get them to correct their behavior?
You know, so again, back to the idea of kind of what a patriot is, what a true patriot is, the things that we're providing people all the time. You can vote with your dollars. You know, I don't go to Starbucks because you're not allowed to carry a concealed weapon there, and they have crappy coffee. So guess what? They don't get my they don't get my business ever. I don't care if I'm about to fall asleep at the wheel. I'll go and I'll go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts to get coffee before I walk into there. So I vote with my dollars. It's going to be the exact same thing. We have to do that. We as a community, as a culture, as a group, me and my friends, we talk about these things. This is part of being a patriot.
That's right. You support media and institutions that are pro-liberty, and you absolutely do not support globalist organizations.
Every chance I get. And I love it, oh, this new place is going to be opening a Transformers bathroom, and they're, my daughters, my 12 and 13-year-old daughters are going to maybe be in there with somebody that is not a female. So I don't shop there.
Alamo Drafthouse is building a great movie theater. I've known the owner since he founded it. He's super liberal. They're building their new super center, and it has one giant bathroom. They put the designs on Facebook where you go in with men and women. Now, it has some individual stalls, but other than that, it has a transsexual urinals for men and women. So women will now turn around and squat into a urinal in front of men, I mean, this is mental illness. And what's going to happen when the Muslims go in there? They're going to flip out.
Yeah. It's such this contradiction. So like this idea of decorum and political correctness and propriety, it's absolutely lost now.
It's about degrading us. It's about dominating us.
It is, but then we're embracing this culture that wants to kill us. And if you send an Islam or Muslim person into that bathroom, they will hurt Americans because it's offensive to them. But then we're pushing that. We're saying, no, you have to build your bathrooms, your restaurants, your movie theaters this way because that's the political correct thing to do. It will get people killed.
You can find the...
Don't give in.
You can find the quote from the league owner guy. He says, oh, well, you know, this one design we have is urinals for men and women. We're trying to figure out how this is going to work.
It won't
work. It's like, don't mess... They want to social engineer. And they want to bring Muslims in so that they can blow stuff up and shoot us, and they can blame us and take our guns. You're absolutely right, Tim Kennedy, and we need to talk about ways to respond to that. But speaking of the Second Amendment, do you guys have the Rahm Emanuel clip? Because, again, he said during the campaign 8 years ago, we're going to come after you and put you on a no-fly list if you think you're maybe a terrorist. Now, these people protecting the terrorist, but they say they're going to put us on a list. This is the end of the Second Amendment. We know we'll end up getting put on these lists.
Yeah, I will. You will. Because we speak for freedom. And words like freedom, liberty, the Constitution, those will be hot words. Those will be words that if you use them, if you tweet them, if you text them, you will be put on those lists because of it. And then you're on that list, you can't have a gun. Now we have complete barrel-chested freedom fighters, loving barbecue and bourbon, motorcycles, Texas guys that are now just on no-fly lists because we like freedom.
Sure, and that's their answer to the jihadis that have attacked us, who they won't say are jihadis, who they ordered the FBI not to go after. Talking to your sources, and do you guys have the clip? Okay, great. And we'll play it in a moment. I couldn't hear you. Talking to your sources, it's in the news the FBI was ordered to stand down twice on this guy. They've been ordered to stand down on this mosque. Have you talked to anybody? Have you confirmed that?
Yeah, it seems very evident now that not Omar specifically, that there was a stand down from him. I think the FBI in 2013 and 2014 actually did do their due diligence in the investigation. They went and interviewed him twice. It was somewhat inconclusive. And the person that made the reports at his work about him had then left. So that was kind of a moot investigation. So then the second one was when he had a friend that went to Syria and blew himself up. And the fact that he's now been investigated by the FBI twice for two different things, now 3 interviews.
Yeah, that's a red flag when your buddy goes and blows himself up and you go to a mosque saying murder all the infidels.
But it was the mosque that it sounds like there's a stand down for. It wasn't Omar. It was the mosque. Say, no, don't investigate that because, you know, the freedom of religion, we can't do it.
What I love is how Obama gets up on TV today and says, don't use the term radical Islam. And then the media follows his orders and uses what words he says. And his wife tells us what school lunches to eat. Since when did I wake up into a cult?
I had somebody today say, because I'm like, stop calling it a hate crime and a shooter. Call it a terrorist event. And the man was a terrorist or a radical Islamist. But I was getting to, like, it was a hate crime. Yeah, it's a hate crime. They hate all of us. They hate America.
Yeah, they want to just turn it into, oh, it's just hate against the poor gays. No, this is a group coming that says they're going to kill you. Imagine if there was a Christian church in town saying, go out and kill black people or go out and kill gays or whatever. They'd be arrested. Because they're organizing crime. They're organizing racketeering. They're organizing violent events. It's not free speech when you say, go kill people.
I would also be at their doorstep and say, hey, that's not how this works. Because we, as a Christian, we kind of take care of our own. You know, like if it's not like a Timothy McVeigh can walk in and be like, hey, I'm going to go blow up a building in Oklahoma. And we're like, oh, that's a good plan. Because we're moderate Christians and we'll allow those things. Or, hey, I'm going to go kill a bunch of gay people. Or I'm going to go kill this woman that had adultery. We're going to stone her to death. And all the other Christians in church are like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, let's get together and go kill her.
Yeah, they go, we'll do it together. That's not how it works. Instead, we say, no, that's wrong. Don't do that. That's not how it's supposed to go. And then we don't let them do that.
Well, here's Rahm Emanuel so that you know that when this is 8 years ago, when you see them pushing this all over the news, this is their goal. Get rid of legislative process, judicial process, get rid of checks and balances, and just you're on a magic no-gun list. Here it is.
And making sure that we have a president, I cannot put my partisanship aside, a Democratic president, who will take that office and use it to protect the streets and the kids that grow up on those streets, and make sure that we once again have an assault weapon ban, a Brady bill with the full force of the law on the land, because we need somebody in the Oval Office that moves this Congress. We had an election about change. People are clear about the special interests. They are tired of that gridlock that special interests cause in Washington. And I think the most simple thing we can do, and we've got to make this a #1 issue as a test vote and then take it into the election. That is, if you are on the no-fly list because you are known as maybe a possible terrorist, you cannot buy a handgun in America.
And meanwhile, they protect these very groups.
Yeah. So there is no due process to be put on the list. And then once you're on the list, there is no action
to get off it.
To get off the list. It's just like,
there are members of Congress on it. Look. It's clear what's going on. I want to shift gears now in the time we have left. I'm going to skip this network break so we have more time to cover it. To really just tell the viewers and the listeners why they've been seeing more of Tim Kennedy here. Tim, obviously, is one of the hosts of a hit show, Hunting Hitler. I want to talk some about that. Also, you've been fighting a lot in the UFC at the highest levels. And, of course, I've heard there's a big fight coming up. I'm just going to stop right there. Also, you're really good buddies with one of my best friends from high school, Shane Steiner, who folks already know here. And so this really happened by accident because you really don't do a lot of sponsorship stuff. Shane gave you some of the products. And, I mean, I guess tell the story yourself, but you sent it off to the anti-doping agency because you really don't take any supplements. Some of them can actually, give you bad tests. You're known as being Mr. Clean. Just a few months ago, they took a whole bunch of tests. Relay all that to folks because you wouldn't be here, becoming somebody that's going to promote the products and, kind of have that finance us doing all these video shoots and trips and, reportage if you didn't believe in the products. So tell folks about your experience with some of the products.
Yeah. I train 2-3 times a day. I'm on the range. It's nonstop work from sunrise to sunset, and then hours after that, I'm still working. I'm always looking for the healthy, natural edge, both to push myself as an individual physically, and then as an athlete and as an operator. I think it's our responsibility. I believe in individual responsibility. I believe in freedom. I believe in being a true patriot. And to be a true patriot, you have to be strong. You have to be mentally strong. You have to be physically strong. You have to be capable. You have to be able to work with your hands. You got to be able to pick stuff up. You got to be able to change a transmission. You have to be able to do things. Chop a tree down. Clean your gun. Just like basic things that give you freedoms. If you can't do those things, you're not free. You have to make somebody else.
You got to be able to kill 10 jihadis with a hatchet in close quarters combat.
Effortlessly. That would make me pretty happy. So looking for the edge, looking for whatever, a supplement, a natural ingredient, a food source, micro meals, whatever it is. My friend Shane gave me some of our products.
So Super Male Vitality, X2, and a few of the others.
So I took Super Male, and I can't ingest anything unless I get it approved by the U.S. ADA, the Anti-Doping Administration. So I took it, and I sent it to them. I said, am I allowed to take this? 100%. They said, you're fine. There's nothing in here that is on our ban list, so go ahead and take it. So I started taking it, and I immediately saw a difference. For a guy like me that's a 215, 220-pound athlete that's 5-6% body fat, you notice small changes, and that's what you need. You just need little bits, little changes. It's not like I'm gonna overnight feel a change. If you have more body fat, if you don't get to train often, you're gonna see bigger changes. But for me, I was able to see small changes. So I had the Anti-Doping Administration say I was good to go, and I started using it and felt good. My wife likes it. My training partner doesn't like it because now I'm being able to hang with him in some of the lifts, and he used to be stronger than me, but I'm coming for you, Shane. It's an amazing product.
I remember Shane one time was bench pressing 400 pounds free bar, something ridiculous, like 30 times in front of me.
He's a monster. He's a monster. Another one of the tenets of kind of like the true patriot idea is having this community. Like you are, yes, we have to be individually strong, but you need people around you that have the liked feelings, shared goals.
How good's he going to get over the years? Because you're a multi-black belt. He's only been doing this like 3 years. I mean, but I'm told he's getting better and better.
God, I'm just glad he's kind of older than me. Because, you know, if he was a few years younger than me, I wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah, you're just a few years younger than us. He's 42. I'm 42. He's about 43 now. How old are you?
I am 36.
Yeah, so you're still a baby over there.
And I need it. I need it.
But no, that's the Steiner genetics. His dad's world bull riding champion.
His dad pisses me off. He's a 65-year-old guy with like an 8-pack.
Oh yeah, and then Sid, of course, is world champion steer roper.
Yeah, they're every one of those guys are athletes. They got genetics of greatness, and Shane is no different. You know, it's infuriating when he beats me, and he beats me all the time. Not at grappling or like kickboxing, MMA specific, but like the strength and conditioning stuff. That man is a monster.
But I remember like 2-3 years ago at first, though, you were really pushing him, though. I remember he was just like, my God, I can hardly walk after these workouts.
He uses all the products too. You know, I'm
told by folks here in town, though, that you guys do the biggest workouts ×2 of anybody else.
We had professional athletes with us last week. Professional athletes that try to do our regular Friday workout. They did a third less than us. So they reduced the volume of our work by 33% because they couldn't finish it in time. And they were also throwing up. This is normal when people come and are like, we'll just go work out with Tim Kennedy. And the funny part is people are always like, Tim uses steroids. Look, you can't have a body like that. You can't look like that. You can't train like that without steroids. Yes, you can. It's called hard work.
Well, also, you got those super Irish genetics.
I got good genetics. I also have good supplements, thanks to some of these products. You know,
but why is it so many of the top fighters that are white are Irish?
We're just too dumb to quit. We're too tough. I think it's in our genetics. You know, like, hey, starve us. We'll eat corned beef and potatoes. You know, then we'll be immigrants coming to New York and Boston, and you know, we'll essentially be slaves for like 2 generations and be fighting with our bare knuckles just for our mere existence. And then it kind of grows on you. You get thick skin.
That which doesn't kill you only makes you stronger?
Right.
Well, I mean, let's be honest about this thing. We were going to do a shooting show 4 years ago. We'd just come out with Super Male Vitality. I'd only started trying to work out again, so Shane's looking at me, you know, this blubber butt, and I'm like, hey, this is from the top guys, concentrated, you know, herbs that are known to get your body to release naturally from your glands. It doesn't mimic testosterone. It just gets your own body to release your own natural stuff. And with all these chemicals in the environment, that suppresses the estrogen mimickers. He goes, listen, and he's just, you know, working out 3 hours a day at the time. He goes, listen, none of these supplements work. I just need plenty of protein, plenty of sleep. And he goes, really, you're selling supplements? And I said, okay, take some home. About a week later, he goes, I want to buy a whole box. He goes, all I know is makes my wife go crazy and me go crazy. It's the libido. And he goes, workout-wise, it makes me want to work out longer and I just have a better attitude. What is in this? And he starts going, is this legal? And I'm going, dude, we just have a top herbologist. This stuff's made in Utah by like this 100-year-old company. I'm not going to say who. They private label it, but it's our proprietary. That's why we run out so much, though, because it's like condensed. It's never heat pressed. So it's still alive. And the biggest thing I noticed within 24 hours is the libido. Not that I had any problems. And, of course, but then Shane really got into it. His dad got into it. And it even helped him actually go from being bulky to slimming down. So it really is real. It really does have an effect. And I'll tell you, I got more energy, started making my hair fall out a little bit faster. I mean, it's real, folks. So consult your physician before you take it. But it's all seen as FDA GRAS certified. That's a congressional law term, meaning everything in it is certified and seen by the government as safe. We don't put anything in there that's even halfway on a list, okay, which you can do all day long. This is truly natural, and it helps fund the broadcast and so much what we're doing. But I'm just, you know, glad to have you involved. So, you know, as you go take the title and everything and UFC and everything, that I definitely will have you there promoting the product. But it's real. It has an effect. Talk about the effects that it had for you.
Recovery was the thing that I noticed first and foremost. So you work hard, you have a 90-minute workout, you have 4, 5, 6 hours until the next workout. During those 4, 5, 6 hours, you are doing everything that you can to get your body healthy again so you can go train and push yourself to the limit. So in those 4, 5, 6 hours, you know, you're ice bathing, cryotherapy, you're taking supplements, micronutrients, you know, coffee, nootropics, all these things, just trying to speed up the recovery process, you know, get the lactic acid out of your muscles, get good positive white blood cells back into the muscles for repair. And so what I noticed first and foremost was how quickly I was recovering. I would get done with the workout. Within an hour or two, I was like chomping at the bit to go train again, to get back on the range to shoot, to hop on the next helicopter, to go down the next rappel wall, to go skydiving, to go whatever my day had in it. And I have some crazy, crazy stuff in my day. I wanted to go right to it. That's what I felt. I was like, let's go. What's next?
What about the libido? You can't say what you said earlier in the office, but that's the easiest to notice?
Yeah, that is absolutely noticeable. You know, I'm a I got an amazing wife. I got a beautiful wife. You know, like it's not part of my culture or religion to beat her. You know, she can wear a bikini when she wants. She can have bourbon when she wants. She can have a beer when she wants. She can do whatever she wants. She's also like a beautiful woman. So, yeah, that supplement's pretty fantastic.
Well, the thing is, super female works on males or females. I mean, the formulas are almost the same, but it's got a few things in it for women that are in the women's. But that's what, and I'm just being honest, this is not sold as that, but this is really what everybody can guarantee it does.
Yeah.
But it certainly works. How much do you take, though? I think Shane overdoses a bit.
He does. So I take 3 droplets twice a day. Which is the recommendation right on the the label.
Yeah, 3 dropperfuls.
Yep, 3 dropperfuls twice a day.
Yeah,
and you know, for my
I can't even do that much.
Well, you know, like
because I'll be honest, I get a little too aggressive.
I'm on a range 4 or 5 hours on a helicopter.
I guess you're using it all up.
I eat 6,000 calories in a day. 6,000 calories. Like that's twice of what most people eat.
By the way, the sad part about you awesome Special Forces guys is especially in the Army, you'll never talk about all the stuff you've done, but talking to other people in the Army and also looking into it, you're like one of the best snipers, they say, in modern times. So all the stuff's classified. You were actually on the same ground as Chris Kyle a lot in Iraq. And then when it comes down, you've written the Army's close combat manual. You've rewritten it. This guy wrote the manual on close combat. Now aren't you like the Army soldier?
I guess so. You know, all of the metrics that you do to measure kind of like one's lethality, both shooting, long distance, mid distance. I'm the champion of pretty much all of them. You know, so.
And now he's in the info war. You wanted us to play this clip. They're having to find it, so I'll play it later and put it together with you talking about it on the Nightly News. But describe this clip.
It's the embodiment, it's the personification of the neutering of what it means to be a man. So this guy goes and shoots an M4 at the range, and he has this catastrophic, nearly traumatic event while he's trying to shoot an M4. It's .223. This is what I let like my 10-year-olds shoot. It's just a little bit bigger than a 22.
There's no kick.
No kick at all.
Not if you push it in your shoulder.
Nothing. So he shoots this gun a couple of times, and he's like, the concussion, the gases, the smell of it all. It was so overwhelming. I had post-traumatic stress for hours after it.
He's trying to create a phobia. So people don't do it. I mean, I'm not the super soldier, but I sit there and fire 100 rounds with a 50 cal handheld.
Effortlessly.
And then these guys are like, can't shoot a .223.
I don't know if they've been like actually emasculated or if they're just trying to demonstrate to the world how weak Americans are. I mean, it seems like it's intentional. He's like, no. It's not cool to go and work hard and to go train and go shoot. It's better just to be like the biggest sissy on the planet that can't even shoot a .223 because it hurts my shoulder and the gases and seeing the brass fly out. It's traumatizing. I can't take it.
Well, that's like these social justice warriors that see the chalk on the ground and start freaking out and convulsing. All right, so seriously, a lot of you haven't tried Super Male Vitality. Some of the other products that Tim likes are all listed. They're all 15% off today. I should have added that for folks to take advantage of this. And obviously, you know, Tim wouldn't endorse something if he didn't really like it. He's a top athlete. You don't see him out there endorsing other stuff. If you try it, folks, it'll blow you away. Bottom line, it supports the broadcast. But beyond that, you know, as Tim, reaches out as an ambassador of Liberty out there to the sporting community and has all sorts of big deals with CBS broadcasting sports and UFC and so many, and hunting Hitler and all this other incredible stuff, he's an ambassador for Liberty and really an ambassador for all the patriots that are in the military that think just like he does.
Yeah,
Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. Everyone's like, why? Why do you do this? Why do you not sleep? Why do you not ever take a day off? Why are you like?
Because you're alive.
One, because I'm alive. The layers of blindness have been pulled, and that's because of hard work. And I want the biggest platform I can. I want to be on CBS. I want to be on the History Channel. Not for me. I don't care about, like, my family's going to be taken care of forever. I want to preach. I want everybody to know how important truth and liberty is. And wherever
We've already dominated on every other front. Now you're going to do it in the InfoWar.
Yeah. So wherever I
Welcome to the InfoWar.
I love it. Fight's coming to them.
But it's perfect. You live here in Austin. You've been friends with Shane so long, and this happened totally organically.
Yep. We got more coming. You know, we're going to give you the stuff you need to know how to be a patriot. We're going to go film stuff this weekend. We're going to go film stuff next week. It is going to be what the steps you need to take about how to be free, how to get free, like food, not from the government, how to grow it, how to change your oil, how to clean your gun, how to go to the range, what drills you should do at the shooting range.
And you're about to go shoot another season of Hunting Hitler. And, of course, you discovered that big house and all that, owned by German contractors, owned by German corporations. You are finding where the Nazis ran.
Absolutely. So last season, we kind of had some gloves off, or gloves on. We're taking the gloves off this year. We did the research last year. Now we are executing. We're going to show you kind of what happened, what you can do with money, and when you have media support behind you. And these were socialists, fascist socialists, that went on the run and then hid in South America.
All right. And where's your movie premiere tomorrow night?
Movie premieres worldwide. Range 15, range15.com to get tickets. And it's veteran everything. It is veteran made.
You're a wild man, Tim Kennedy. Amazing. Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds?